By Brian Gallant, former New Brunswick Premier. Good morning. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us. Can I start out by asking you around these comments, your view on what we heard from Premier Eby earlier, calling this treason? What do you think?
It's great to be with you, and it's quite shocking. I mean, the backdrop of the premiers getting together with the Prime Minister is somebody going to Washington during this tumultuous time with our trading partner and trying to talk about separatism, trying to get credit for that movement, and it is shocking. I won't necessarily use a very supercharged legal word, but to sort of paraphrase Premier Ford, I think it is completely unacceptable. But the other thing that hasn't been really discussed, I mean, this is breaking news, but I mean, it's completely unacceptable that the U.S. administration, that Trump, him and his administration, is completely unacceptable that they're taking these meetings. Imagine if Prime Minister Carney was taking a meeting with a group that is trying to have California separate. I just think he would go bananas. It is completely unacceptable that they're doing that. And of course, it is coming at a time where we need to be banding together more so than ever before. And I have to give credit to the premiers and the Prime Minister. I think they're all going into these meetings today and their discussions yesterday with this Team Canada approach, and I think that's exactly what we need.
And we're going to talk about Team Canada in just a second. But the one premier we haven't heard from on this is Premier Smith this morning. Do you think that she should be coming out and making some sort of statement on this?
100%. She should completely condemn these meetings. She should say very strongly that there should be nobody from Canada meeting with a foreign government talking about people separating within our federation. So yes, absolutely. And look, to her credit, I think she has made it clear that she's not for Alberta separating. I would certainly like her not to toy around with referendums. I think we saw what happened with Brexit. I believe the UK government never thought that a referendum would go the way that it did. So it's something that they really have to be careful with. And the other aspect that really worries me about all of this is foreign interference. It's money from the U.S., not necessarily completely linked to political parties, but potentially, and money coming in trying to influence Albertans and putting falsehoods out and trying to use disinformation to have Albertans maybe gain some steam, have this movement gain some steam. That worries me quite a bit. And the idea that they're taking meetings, we don't know what's being discussed, that certainly is something I think the Prime Minister and the government really need to think hard about how they ensure that none of that's going to happen in the next few months.
How unified do you think the premiers are? And this comes a day after we saw a softening and some agreement between Eby and Smith on expanding the Trans Mountain Pipeline, and now this. So we see this united front. We hear it talked about. What's your feeling on how connected the premiers really are right now?
Look, at the top of the hour, I believe you had some workers that are losing jobs and their colleagues are losing jobs in Oshawa say that, you know, things that are out of our control have kind of sideswiped us. I thought they eloquently explained the situation, and I think the premiers recognize that. The premiers are coming together at a time where they know there's a lot that they can't control, but there are some things that they can control, and what they can do is band together, work together. Doesn't mean they're going to agree all the time. We certainly have seen that in the last few days and weeks, but trying to move some major projects, trying to move some things that will help our economy during this difficult time when we have so much around us that's unknown, so much uncertainty, I think is crucial. And really credit to Premier Eby. I know he's not supportive of the deal that was struck between Alberta and Ottawa, and he nevertheless, I think, came out very thoughtfully, making it clear he's not for it, but sort of not really ramping things up, not going into sort of rhetoric that would spark any huge debate to have a sort of chasm between the premiers and Ford as well. He would have all the reason to be very upset over the last week or so, and yet he met with Carney prior to this gathering in Ottawa over pizza and said, yeah, there's some things we disagree on, but to paraphrase him, 99% of the things that are important we agree on. So I think the premiers are really making a big effort to show a Team Canada front, and we see on the backdrop with this meeting that's happening in Washington, it's sorely needed.
Brian Gallant is the former New Brunswick Premier. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time and your analysis with us this morning.
Thanks for having me.